What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Legit Whiskey Reviews, and today I'll be reviewing Catoctin Creek Roundstone Rye. This is the cask proof version, so I got a good one today. This one is coming in at 116 proof, so that's 58% ABV. I got another craft distillery review. This time, this one's coming from Purcellville, Virginia. I'm not sure if I pronounce that correctly, but it's from Virginia, and it is pot distilled. This is a single barrel, so I'm not sure how much they vary from bottle to bottle, but yeah, so I'm pretty excited for this one. This is also a non-chill filtered, which is always a plus. So I'm super excited for this one. As some of you guys, may know that I'm super into a lot of craft distilleries. I like trying new stuff. I like trying weird stuff. Stuff that makes me think and makes me explore the whiskey thoroughly. It's just like I'm really into stuff like that because I feel like it's fun. It takes you on an adventure, and one thing that you might be expecting might not be the way it turns out. So, just when it comes to stuff like this, I'm always super excited, go on a little adventure with a whiskey. Retail on this is anywhere, depending on your area, it could go anywhere from $70 to $80. But like I said, it just depends on your area. The availability, I feel like this is pretty available everywhere, but I'm not sure. I know as far as my area, this is readily available everywhere I go. So, but yeah, let's get into this. All right. So this is completely sticking to the glass. It has no legs at all, just completely sticking to the glass. All right, so the nose, this is that's why I was super excited for this. So on the nose, this is a rye, but this is completely, if I blinded this, I wouldn't know that it was a rye. I wouldn't know what to think of it. It's just so different from any other rye that I've ever smelled. There's just so much going on in here. So this is gonna be, well, the first note that sticks out is a cherry. It's heading towards the medicinal cherry part, but it's not quite medicinal. It's like heavy dark cherry. It's the first note that I definitely pick up. But right behind that, it's something that I don't think I've ever picked up, I don't think I've ever picked it up in another whiskey before. But it's and it wasn't hard to pick out. It's pretty, to me, it's pretty defined as to what it is. But what I'm picking up is a cantaloupe. Yeah, there was a fruit. When I first picked this up, I'm like, whoa, this is so different from anything I've ever, picked up. But so like I was trying to figure out what exactly it was, and then after I got it, I'm like, yep, it's a cantaloupe. So I know it sounds weird, but that's right after the cherry, it's the cantaloupe. And it's really good. I really like that note. And to me, I feel like that cantaloupe note is coming from the pot still, because what I'm interpreting as cantaloupe, I'm pretty sure it's from that pot still. And then I'm getting caramel. It smells very sweet also. I'm getting caramel. I'm getting a good amount of vanilla. There's a good amount of cinnamon in here, and also a lot of spice. So yeah, you let this sit for a while and it's gonna constantly change. But as far as what I'm getting right now, I'm getting that dark cherry note. I'm getting the cantaloupe note. I'm getting the caramel and vanilla, but these are deep, rich caramels and vanillas. And then I'm getting the very distinct cinnamon, and then to go along with the spice. So, you know, a lot of good stuff going on. Very fruity, very sweet, you know, lots of baking spices, lots of spice. So yeah, there's just a lot going on here. The nose is phenomenal. It smells so good. I could, you know, smell this all day, but let's go where it counts, the palate. Cheers. For being 116 proof, I feel like it drinks a little bit lower, even with the spice that's coming through on the palate. So even on the palate, you know, I'm getting some, you know, on the nose as well, I'm getting some rye notes in there that'll lean me towards it being a rye. But like I said, for the most part on the nose, or even if I tasted it on the palate, you know, I would lean towards rye, but I feel like this is so far off from any other rye that I've ever tried that I wouldn't automatically say, yes, this is a rye. And I'm saying that in a good way. It's not in a bad way. It's like so different from anything else. It's just amazing. So the sweetness is coming through on the palate as well. It's not overly sweet. I'm still getting that cherry. There's a good amount of cherry on the palate. The cantaloupe note that I was picking up is coming through on the palate, but not as much as the nose. I feel like it's tamed down on the nose, or I'm sorry, on the palate. But the caramel, vanilla, the cinnamon, and a good amount of spice. There's a lot of spice towards the mid palate and the finish, and with a little bit of like a dark chocolate note towards the finish. So there's just a lot going on here. You know, I feel like everything that I smelled on the nose translated to the palate, which is always a plus for me. And I feel like to top everything off on the palate, it's very creamy, which I usually expect from pot distilled whiskeys, but it's definitely creamy on the palate for this one. So let's try it again. So I feel like maybe my nose is acclimating more to it, but I feel like this, now that I put my nose in here again, I feel like the caramel vanilla is starting to move to the front, and the cherry and the cantaloupe note, while they're still there, are taking a backseat. And as far as the nose, and everything else with the cinnamon and the spice is still the same on the nose. It's so good. So there's still a good amount of sweetness, a good amount of cherry still. I feel like I'm picking up an oak note, and I feel like it's taking the forefront in the palate now. I feel like it moved up in the palate, and I'm still getting a good amount of cinnamon, and I'm still getting a little bit of like a dark bitter chocolate. It's not in a bad way. It's just like a dark chocolate. It's like a little bit bitter, but not in a bad way, because I feel like it goes perfect with the sweetness that's in the front. The cantaloupe note now kind of faded away from me, but I feel like what's taking over the palate now, it's like this sweet oak with the vanilla, caramel, and then the spice, cinnamon, and dark chocolate. So the second time that I tried it now, it just completely switched on the palate, you know, as far as the odor that I was tasting, the notes. And I feel like that it's like an oak, but I feel like it leans more towards a sawdust note. And when it comes to like that sawdust note, it usually turns me off, but in this one, it's not turning me off because it's not like over the top. It's like, it's oaky, but like leaning towards the sawdust note. And I really like that with the sweetness and the cinnamon and the spice. As far as the spice on this, it's staying consistent. I feel like that's where I can tell this is a rye, because it's very spicy on the back end of the palate. And I like that. I don't, you know, I really like a spicy, you know, rye. And there's a little bit of pepper in there, but it's not like over the top you know, like a pepper bomb, over the top pepper, which, as you guys may or may not know, is a turn off for me as far as ryes. But yeah, this is very interesting, very different, very out there as far as a rye. But being such high proof and just as complex as it is on the nose and the palate, I want to add a little bit of water to this and just see what it does to it, because I feel like it will change it in some way. All right, so I added a few drops there. But yeah, I'm digging this. This is probably one of the best whiskeys I've tried this year, and I'm not exaggerating. You know, I don't get to try like a lot of super rare or allocated whiskeys, but I do get to try a lot, and this one's at the top of the list so far this year. Just super interesting, and that's a big thing for me, you know, something that makes me explore and, you know, dig through the layers and the notes and just stuff like that, nerdy stuff that I really like. All right. So I feel like on the palate, it got sweeter, and I feel like it really brought out that cantaloupe note that I was picking up before. I feel like the second time that I went on the nose, that cantaloupe note kind of took a backseat, and I feel like now it's back up there. It's back the same way as it was the first time I put the nose to it. Yeah, it got like super bright, super sweet, and just a lot of that cantaloupe note, which I know is from the pot still. I feel like that's really coming through. The cherry note that I was picking up kind of took a back seat now. But yeah, it still smells really good on the palate. It's just different. All right, let's go to the, or I'm sorry, on the nose. Now let's go to the palate. I feel like as far as the palate, the sweetness kind of went down. The spice went up even more, which is already super spicy. I still don't mind it, but I feel like the sweetness took a back seat. The oak went away, the oak sawdust that I was picking up. And I feel like now it's just, it got a little bit, like that sweetness was making it, you know, very balanced. And now that the sweetness went down, I feel like the spice is overtaking the palate with the water added. So as far as my opinion on this with the water, I would not add water. This is best enjoyed just the way it is, you know, just straight from the bottle, no water added, because it's super complex, super rich, all kinds of notes coming through, and I feel like when you add the water, you kind of like ruin the experience. It's still very good, but I just feel like it's not the same as without the water. Without the water, you just get so much more. So as far as my final score on this, these guys are doing a great job in Virginia. This one is, I'm trying to see what the distillery is. Oh, there it is. So it is Catoctin Creek Distilling Company. Sometimes they have a different name for the company, but yeah, these guys are doing an amazing job. This is the first time I've tried it. I was gonna pick up just a regular version of the Roundstone rye, but I saw the Cask proof and I'm like, I can't pass it up. So this is totally worth it. I'm gonna give it an A+, one of my new favorite ryes for the year. And you know, do I recommend it? Hell yes, but I feel like it's not for everyone. I feel like if you're not into a super spicy rye, and if you're not really like the exploring type and you just like a straightforward experience, I feel like this might not be for everybody, because there's so much going on in here. Just so many notes and just kind of complex and just a lot going on in here. So in that sense, I feel like it's not for everybody, but I really enjoyed this. And yeah, what else can I say? Just amazing. So if you like my content, remember to smash that like button. Remember to subscribe. You guys can catch me on Instagram at LegitWhiskeyReviews, and keep it legit and do it for the love of whiskey. Cheers.